Let's look at an if function and its variations. Here we've got a list of orders for the D122 item, and our company has a discount policy that's summarized right here. If a customer orders 51 to 74 units, they get a 10% discount, and if they order 75 or over, they get a 15% discount. So let's say in column F we wanted to calculate whether or not this order qualified for a discount. We'll type equals if, and you can see that the first thing that we need to give this function is a logical test, or some sort of a formula that Excel can calculate and return a true or a false. So we'll select this quantity for the row, and if the quantity is greater than 50, then we know that it will qualify for a discount. So E2 greater than 50. We'll press a comma, and then we need to give this function a value to return if that formula is true. So if the quantity is greater than 50, then we'll just return a yes. And if that's not true, then we'll return a no. We'll close the parentheses, and now we can see that this is evaluating that 86, which is greater than 50, and so it's returning a yes. We'll double-click the fill handle to fill that formula all the way in, and we can visually see that this formula is working out. 47 is below 50, so it does not qualify for the discount. Now let's look at what is referred to as a nested if function. That's just multiple if formulas combined together. So let's say that we wanted to calculate the total amount of this order, including the discount that it receives. So we'll come in here and type equals if. And the first logical test that we're going to give is to see if the quantity is greater than or equal to 75. Based on our table here, anything greater than or equal to 75 is going to get a 15% discount. So if that value is true, what we're going to do is we're going to multiply the item price times the quantity, and we're going to multiply that by 0.85 to factor in that 15% discount. If we just stop there and hit enter, that's going to calculate the discount for our first row. But if we double click that, what it's going to do for those items that are not above 75 is it's going to return a false, because that's the default value that Excel will return if a logical test is false. What we want to do though is we want to create a scenario where it's going to calculate a 10% discount for anything that is greater than 50. So to create a nested if, for the value if false, we're going to type another if function. In this case, we're going to look at the quantity again if E2 is greater than 50. We could do greater than or equal to 51 if we wanted, but we'll just stick with 50. If it is greater than 50, we're going to type in another formula, which is D2 times E2, and this time we're going to do times 0.9 to account for our 10% discount. Now, if that logical test is false, then there would be no discount, and so we'll just put in a formula to multiply the item price by the quantity. And then we will press enter. We'll format our number because that's the way I like to do it. And then we can double click, and now we've got a number in for each row. One thing that's important to note here is that Excel will read this formula from left to right. So it starts with this logical test right here, if E2 is greater than or equal to 75, and it evaluates it right there. If it's true, it will calculate this formula, and then it will stop. So it's really important that you get the order of your logical tests correctly. For example, if we started with the logical test of if the quantity is greater than 50, then return that price times the quantity times 0.9. Because 86 is greater than 50, it's going to calculate that 10% discount and stop right there. Because of our company's policy, we know that's incorrect. So we have to start with the logical test of the quantity being over 75. So it can get a little complicated with nested if functions, but as long as you're keeping track of the order of things, it shouldn't be too difficult. Let's also look at another function called ifs. This is a function that's newer in Excel and available to Excel 2019 and greater. This is very similar to the if function, but rather than returning a value if false, you just type in the value if true. So you give the function a bunch of logical tests, and then the value to return if that logical test is true. So again, we'll start with this if the quantity is greater than or equal to 75. And then the value if true is going to be our item price times the quantity times 0.85. Then when we press a comma, we get another logical test. So in this case, we'll say if E2 is greater than 50, and we'll do that price times the quantity times 0.9. Now, if we were to press enter right there, it would calculate for anything that was greater than 50, but it's going to return an NA for those items that are less than 50, because we haven't told Excel what to do if the quantity is less than 50. So in here, we'll come here and do a logical test 3. If the quantity is less than or equal to 50, then we'll just return the item times the quantity. Now this has covered all of our bases, and when we double click, we're getting the same exact numbers for our formula in column G. So the ifs function can be helpful because it's a little more logical than a nested if function. A lot of times with nested if functions, you can have too many where you get like 10 nested ifs deep. The ifs function kind of helps simplify that, but you just have to keep in mind that you might have to type out a lot of scenarios to make sure you don't get errors. Another thing that you can do though is wrap an ifs function in an IFERROR function. So we'll come here and copy this portion of the formula again. So this is just giving us the calculation for anything that has a discount. So now any quantity below 50 is returning an NA. We can come to the beginning of here and type IFERROR. And what the IFERROR function does is it will calculate a formula. And then if that formula returns an error, you can tell Excel what you want to return instead of the error. So here we've got the value, which we've just included our long ifs function. If we press a comma, then we need to give Excel the value that we want to return if there's an error. So you could type some sort of text like error in this case, and then if we double click that, in this case it doesn't make sense, we want a number here. So you can also calculate a formula, and again we would just want item price multiplied by the quantity. And now we're going to get the same numbers as we have in the last two columns. So there are several ways to handle a problem like this. Just wanted to show you the different ways you can use an if function, ifs, or IFERROR.